What's up everybody, and welcome back. It's the NBA Fanatic Johnny P bringing you another video. And hey, I wanted to get at you because just a couple videos ago I did a video of the 1984 draft versus the 2003 draft. I took 5 players from each draft who I thought would be fun to have on a team, kind of pitted them against each other to see who would win. And that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that video. And one of my subscribers, a gamer named Adam, said, hey, what about the 1996 draft? Well, you know, what do you think about these players? Who would you pit them against? So I started thinking about it. So I was like, you know what, Adam? This video is for you, my man, because I decided to write down who I would want on my starting 5. And I also picked the draft against them, the 2009 draft. So let's talk about this together, see what you think. Now, mind you, again, if you disagree with what I'm saying, if you think any other players could make it on this list, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. These are just players that I personally feel are a lot of fun, and I wanted to put them on my teams. So if we're talking about the 1996 draft, as my starting point guard, I would take the number 15th pick, Steve Nash. We're talking about a Hall of Famer. This dude can shoot. 3-pointers, good, 2-pointers, whatever. I mean, he can shoot. He's a great point guard. We all know who he is. I don't have to explain that. Okay, so shooting guard, I have the number 1 pick of that draft. Do you know who it is? It was Allen Iverson, number 1 pick, AI, right? I don't have to explain much about him. He's a game changer. He had the handles, he had the swag, he just changed the way the game is. And at the Players' Choice Awards, he actually took home, one of the awards that they actually awarded him for. I think it might have actually been the Game Changer Award or something along those lines, but he's really recognized in, you know, player circles and just from the fans at how good he was. And unfortunately, he retired a little bit too early and got out of the game too early, but AI, got to take him as my shooting guard. At small forward, I take the number 13 pick out of Lower Merion High School, Kobe Bryant. You know, you're talking about a top 10, 15 player of all time. Again, this is somebody who needs no introduction. The Black Mamba, you know where you at, because I love Kobe. And at my power forward spot, I took the number 17 pick at Jermaine O'Neal. We're talking, now I was looking for rebounders there. He's a good player. He played a ton of seasons. I want to say like 18 seasons or something like that. He's 6'11". He was listed at 226 as far as his weight on Basketball Reference. He averaged about 7.2 rebounds per game over the course of his career. So that's pretty decent. You know, whatever. So I put him as my power forward. And actually at my center, I'm picking Big Z, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who played almost his whole career in Cleveland. My Cleveland Cavaliers drafted him at number 20. This man, if you don't know who he is, Big Z, is very, very popular in Cleveland and still actually with the organization as, I forget what kind of a role he has with the team now. I should look it up. I should know that. But we're talking 7 foot 3 inches, about 238 pounds. And he averaged 7.3 rebounds per game. But he was just a big dude, just real tall, real long. He was everywhere. Okay, so if we switch over to the 2009 draft, my starting point guard was actually the number 7 pick. This last year's MVP, Steph Curry, plays with the Golden State Warriors, as we all know. And I wrote down as his note that he's the best shooter to ever play the game. Now, this could change, but his shot goes off so fast. It's so hard to defend against this man, and he's so deadly accurate. And he is clutch as can be, and he has that confidence too. That's huge, especially with the shooters, so you got to look out for Steph. At shooting guard, I have the number 3 pick, James Harden out of the Houston Rockets. And again, this guy also bleeds confidence. He believes in himself. He believed in himself so much that he wanted his own team to be the man, not the 6th man, you know, off the bench, or not just in the starting rotation. He wanted his own team, and he has that down in Houston. And according to, again, we'll go back to the player awards. At the player awards, he won the MVP. That's by his own peers. So that says something right there. At small forward, I have the number 27 pick, DeMarais Carroll. And it's just a player, it's not like a super strong pick, but he's somebody that's getting better and slowly developing his game. Believe he's in Atlanta right now. I could be wrong on that. Let me know if I'm wrong on that one. At my power forward slot, this is actually a personal pick of mine. I hate the Chicago Bulls. I hate them. However, their players show up when they play Cleveland, and I picked Taj Gibson because he just seems to play real tough every time I watch him play. Now, when they're playing other teams, he may not be that strong of a player, but at least when I watch him play, he has shown up. So I put him on my list, and I just see, because he's such a younger player, he will get better in time. And then at my center position, I didn't like to do this, but how can you go wrong with the number 1 pick, Blake Griffin? This is a smaller lineup, if you can't tell. There really wasn't, this draft right here, the 2009 draft, was very, very top heavy as far as point guards and shooting guards. There wasn't a lot of big players coming out of there. So he's undersized a little bit for the position at 6'10". I'm sure he could play center. However, going against the other big guys on the other team, that'd be very difficult. So if we're talking, in the 2009 draft too, I also passed over Jeff Teague and DeMar DeRozan. Those are also some really good players. Danny Green was part of that draft. And there's 1 or 2 people I'm forgetting as well. But there was a really, Ty Lawson out of North Carolina. There's really good players in that draft that I'm just not putting down. But this is just the 5 that I'm picking, right? Now, if we go one-on-one, Steve Nash versus Steph Curry at the point guard position, I'm giving it to the 2009 draft in Steph Curry, because even though Steve Nash is a Hall of Famer, I also guarantee Steph at the end of his career will also be a Hall of Famer. And how can you, if you had Steve Nash taking a shot or Steph Curry taking a shot, I would pick Steph. He's clutch. That man can shoot the lights out, and he can hit, I swear he can hit from half court every single time. I mean, he's just lights out. So I give it to Steph there. At the shooting guard position, Allen Iverson versus James Harden. That would be fun, watching one-on-one with these two playing. Oh my goodness. Even though this is a 5-on-5 game that I have going on, just thinking about those two playing one-on-one is fantastic. I give the nod to AI. I think James Harden, I mean, if they played to 10, this score would be like 10-9. I mean, this would be a great matchup. But I think AI would edge him out just slightly. That one is debatable, very debatable, but I'm still giving it to Allen Iverson. So, Kobe Bryant versus DeMar Carroll. We're not even going to talk about that. Kobe all day, every day. So, Jermaine O'Neal versus Taj Gibson. Again, I'm giving it to Jermaine O'Neal. I think Taj Gibson's a good player, but how can you argue 18 years in the league? He's obviously doing something right, Jermaine O'Neal. Popular player. I just think he would take that matchup. And the other one here, Big Zydrunas Ilgauskas versus Blake Griffin. Like, a lot of you would simply say Blake Griffin, easy. And I'll be honest with you, I gave the nod to Blake Griffin just to kind of throw a bone to the 2009 class, but I really think Big Z is big enough where he would be able to really give Blake Griffin a hard time as far as his size is concerned. If you're talking about pure energy, Blake Griffin would give Big Z a run for his money. I think Blake Griffin could out-hustle Big Z any day of the week, because I swear Zydrunas was very slow. Whenever he would run around the court, it would drive me nuts, but he's a big dude. So even though I would probably take Big Z in that particular center position, I'd give the nod to Blake Griffin just because he has been good enough to be considered for the MVP in the past. And he's just a great player. How can you go wrong? He's the best player on that team, in my opinion. Him and Chris Paul over in LA, they're just doing good things. I give it to Blake Griffin. So, with that being said, the 1996 draft would win 3-2, if not 4-1 if I picked Big Z. But how can you go wrong with the 1996 draft? Gamer name Adam, thank you for your suggestion. I appreciate it. This was super fun. This one was a good one to put together. I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you for coming back and watching the video. I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.